Friday night, the Payson Longhorns traveled to Chino Valley to face the Cougars, Coach Josh Anderson's former team. The Horns' defense got started right with safety Ridge Hallinar picking off Cougar quarterback Cole Wiesenhunt. It was Payson's first interception of the season. Nick Goodman got things started on offense with a nice run. The ball slipped out of his hands, but Tyler Savage was there to cover it. That set up the first score of the night as Hallinar connected with Troy Brown over the middle for an 11-yard TD. The Cougars featured number 36 running back Johnny Kennedy, who picked up some big yardage in the first half. But at the goal line, the Longhorns put up one of their patented goal line stands. A pass interference penalty gave the Cougars another 4 chances at the 2-yard line, but the Horns stopped them cold again, and Ridge Hallinar came up with another interception, this one in the end zone to end the scoring threat. With 4 seconds left in the half, a defensive lapse allowed Johnny Kennedy to get open on a screen pass, and he took the ball 63 yards for a Chino Valley score. The Longhorns, who looked to bag the Cougars this night, now knew they had a tiger by the tail. It was 8-6 at halftime, and Coach Anderson was determined to set his team straight. The Longhorns needed to get momentum back, and that's exactly what they did at the start of the third quarter, with Hallinar picking up some big yardage on the first play from scrimmage. That set things up for Nick Alexander on a 32-yard romp that gave the Longhorns a quick score with 10:15 left in the third quarter. And the Payson school bus lit up as the Horns took a 15-6 lead. Meanwhile, the defense started keying on Kennedy and they stopped him cold.
Left side, Johnny Kennedy on the carry. Good job, David. Hang on to it, baby. Yeah!
But finally he got loose and set Chino Valley up in good field position. But the relentless Payson line made Wiesenhunt pay. And then Peaches Brooks made a great open field tackle to really slow the Cougars down. Then a bad snap got past Wiesenhunt and allowed him to meet Mr. Brian Burke up close and personal. And that shaking on the camera was not an earthquake. It was the Payson faithful fans celebrating. And there was more celebration a little later as Ridge Hallinar came up with his third pick of the night. Watch Nick Goodman's effort here. He seems to be down after a short gain, but his knee didn't hit the ground. So Nick kept running, and it turned into a long gain. Then Brandon Alexander wove his way through the Cougars for about 20. The Horns went back on D, and Shane Keith delivered a big hit on a Cougar completed pass. And on the next play, Shane got the Longhorns' 4th interception of the night to stop Chino Valley again. And the play that sealed the Cougars' fate this night, Troy Brown intercepted Wiesenhunt's pass and went 51 yards for the score. The Longhorns' 5th interception of the night. With 3:30 left in the game, Payson led 22-6. On the ensuing kickoff, after the Longhorns took a weird penalty, Nick Goodman slipped among some sleepy Cougars to claim the ball, and Payson was in business again. Hallinar capped off a 4-play, 78-yard drive with a 22-yard touchdown pass to number 32, David Carlin, and the score was 29-6 with 1:17 left in the game. And Hallinar took a knee at the end, and Payson completed a great second half with thanks to the many fans who traveled to Chino Valley to cheer them on.
Hey, it was a lucky night, I was lucky enough to get them all, come down with a hard one and thanks, Mike. But other than that, you know what? If they're going to pass versus us, they're going to get interceptions on them. So that's what we do.
We were challenged big time, and big goal line stand again. That's always fun. And we had 0 interceptions. We had 5 tonight. So good things. They tried to do some things, and we were ready for it. And that's just a big tribute to our coaching staff and the kids paying attention all week and knowing what's going on and being in the right spots at the right time and playing together as a team. So I'm pumped. Yeah, obviously beating Chino Valley, the old boys, but being 4-0 is even just as exciting. So it's a lot of fun.
Pretty good game, huh?
Great game.
How about that 40?
How about number 40, Troy Brown? Touchdown, Brown.
Woohoo!
I knew Chino Valley was going to come out with a lot of emotion, and I also know how that turns out because we played the game last year with a ton of emotion and played a great first half, and then just the wheels fell off in the second half because we were dead tired and it was just a debacle. So it was good to have that experience from last year. I had a great view of Nick right on the sideline because he put his hand down, kept his balance, and his knee was on that defender, and he just popped up and started running before the ref had a decision to make, well, was he down or wasn't he? And then, it was just a heads-up play on his part. He knew he wasn't down, and he's a competitor. And then again, we were blocking downfield, so it's an outstanding run. It's another one of those highlights we had. We had plenty of highlights on Friday night. When you got Nick Goodman, Nick Alexander, Brandon Alexander, B.J. Hill, and Ridge Allen are running the ball, you got to be able to stop it all. And on top of that, when we do play action, you got to be able to stop Tyler, and you got to be able to stop Troy Brown, and then you got to be able to stop David Carlin and Shane Keith. Not to mention trying to get through our big offensive line. So yeah, things right now are really clicking for us. And hopefully we can keep it that way, and we're going to work hard to do that. But just like we have a complete defensive package, I feel we got the same thing on offense, and it's quite impressive.
You know what? If they're going to pass versus us, they're going to get interceptions on them. So that's what we do.
Ridge on that goal line stand saw on film, they've done that play on the goal line. If the pass, or if the run doesn't work, they'll go to that pass, and Ridge knew it and just was ready for it in perfect position. Great play, and then he had just an amazing interception, one for the highlights. And it was crazy, and it was fun to see that happen. And then he had another big one. And of course, Troy Brown had a huge interception and just didn't put a hole in their sails. He ripped them down. It was a great time for that. And Shane had a big one, pulled that one out of the air and got what he could get in yards. But the reason, in my opinion, is because we had such pressure. They've never seen the kind of pressure that we gave them with our defensive line and linebackers. We were hitting that quarterback all night, and he was getting up slow, and so he was throwing that ball before he probably normally would have. His feet weren't usually set, and he was making some quick decisions, which ultimately resulted in 5 interceptions. So it was a total defensive package that really gave us those 5 interceptions. So I was very pleased. I asked for people to come over and support us. The volleyball girls came over, obviously the parents, and a lot of people who don't have kids on the Payson team. They took it to heart and they came over, and yeah, I felt like we had a better crowd than Chino Valley, which I was kind of shocked from Chino Valley, but you know what? That was just another reason why I'm proud to be a Payson Longhorn. It was fun to turn around and see them pack those 2 stands there and the people along the fence. Yeah, they were loud and crazy, and it was just a lot of fun for those kids to be supported like that. So I was very happy with our crowd. As usual, they support their football team. And they support their sports in town here, so I don't know if I should have expected anything less. Our bus driver, boy, he was pumped. He was so excited to come watch a football game, and he was saying, man, after the game, you gotta have me drive the bus all the time. That was so much fun. And I looked up out of the corner of my eye one time and saw the lights going off, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. We got 2 films on Bradshaw Mountain, one playing Notre Dame Prep and the other one playing Prescott, and they didn't appear too fancy against Notre Dame Prep. I think he was holding back. That was the game before Prescott, which is their big rival, and I think he was kind of holding back some offensive plays because we saw new formations and new plays for Prescott, and that's the game where you can lose all games all year, but you want to win that one. You know, and so of course they stepped up their play in that game, I thought. And I just don't know really what to expect other than they're not going to want to lose to a 3A team, and I'm sure they're going to come over here and be focused and ready to go because they got a good coaching staff and good kids. So we're going to have to be ready for another battle like Chino Valley. The kids work hard, the coaches work hard, and it's now starting to gel and all come together. And yeah, they are playing at a higher level. They got the experience from last year. They got the strength now, you know, and so it's so much fun to watch. I got a great front row seat.